The airport was always loud, rolling suitcases, boarding calls, rushed conversations. But on that humid summer afternoon, something felt different. Not wrong, not obvious, just different. A strange tension floated in the air, subtle but unmistakable to anyone who'd spent years watching danger move silently through crowds. Security Officer Daniel Ward had been working airports for more than a decade, and he trusted his instincts the way pilots trust their wings. But today, the first hint of danger didn't come from him. It came from his dog. Koda, a massive Belgian Malinois, trotted beside him with a fluid confidence. His dark sable coat shimmered under the terminal lights, his sharp eyes analyzing everything. Footsteps, bag movements, changes in behavior. Koda was trained to notice what humans ignored, and he was frighteningly good at it. Daniel loved him like a partner, like a friend, like the one constant in a job filled with chaos and uncertainty. "Easy, boy," Daniel whispered, giving the leash a small tug as they patrolled. Families hurried to gates, babies cried, businessmen shouted into phones. A group of teenagers argued about snacks, normal, ordinary, familiar. Yet Koda was tense. His ears twitched, his forehead wrinkled, his nose kept lifting, inhaling the air in sharp, deliberate bursts. "Something's up," Daniel muttered under his breath. Koda suddenly stopped. Not slowed. Stopped. Body stiff, tail low, eyes fixed at the far end of the terminal. And then came the growl, deep, low. A warning Daniel had heard only once before, on the day Koda saved a platoon overseas by detecting a hidden explosive inside a shattered building. "Koda, talk to me. What do you smell?" Koda didn't move, didn't blink. Daniel followed the dog's gaze and saw him. A man, early 30s, standing unnaturally still in the middle of the crowd. Sweat dripped down his forehead despite the cold AC. His shoulders trembled. His eyes darted from person to person as if he was memorizing their faces. Then Daniel noticed the backpack, strapped tight across the man's chest. Too tight, too heavy, too still. His heart dropped. Before Daniel spoke a word, Koda surged forward, nearly yanking the leash out of his hand. "Whoa! Koda, easy! Stay!" But Koda didn't listen. The dog's instincts were screaming. The man noticed. His gaze met Koda's. Something changed in his eyes. Panic, fear, and a deep, terrible sadness. A look people wore when they believed the world had already ended. Daniel stepped forward slowly, one practiced motion at a time. "Sir," Daniel called, voice controlled, "I need you to stop and stay where you are." People nearby paused, confused. The man stepped backward. Just one step, but one was enough. "Koda!" Daniel shouted. The dog lunged. The leash slipped from Daniel's hand. Airport travelers screamed. Some ducked. Some froze. Some ran. Koda collided with the man's legs, knocking him to the hard tile floor. The backpack slammed against the ground with a heavy, unnatural thud that confirmed every nightmare Daniel had ever feared. His stomach clenched. "Bomb!" Daniel yelled. "Everyone move! Evacuate the terminal now!" Chaos exploded. Luggage overturned. People scattered. A child cried for his mother. Security alarms blared. Radios crackled. Voices screamed. Koda pinned the man to the ground, snarling with a primal ferocity Daniel had never heard. The man reached for the backpack. "No!" Daniel shouted, sprinting. Koda snapped at the man's wrist, stopping him inches from the zipper. Daniel dove, grabbing the man's arm, twisting it behind his back, forcing him down. "Stay down! Don't move!" I have to do this," the man cried, his voice trembling, thick with terror and despair. "No, you don't," Daniel said, breathing hard. "Not today." Officers rushed in, restraining, handcuffing, securing. The bomb squad arrived in minutes, but minutes felt like days. Daniel stood back, trembling, watching a heavy-suited technician examine the bag, hands steady, voice low. "Device is live," he said finally, "and powerful. If it went off here, casualties would have been in the hundreds." Silence swallowed the terminal. Daniel felt his knees weaken. He pressed a hand against a pillar to steady himself. Koda sat beside him, panting, chest heaving from exertion, but eyes calm, as if he wasn't inches away from death a moment ago. Daniel knelt and wrapped both arms around the dog's neck. "You did it," he whispered, voice breaking. "You saved them all." Koda licked his cheek as if to say, "Of course I did. That's my job." But the scene wasn't done. As officers escorted the bomber away, the man looked back, not with hatred, but with heartbreak. "They took my family," he said softly, tears streaming down his face. "They said they'd kill them if I didn't. I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt anyone." Daniel froze. It was a human truth he'd seen before. Not every threat was born of evil. Sometimes monsters were made, not born. Sometimes people were trapped in nightmares with no choices left. But Koda didn't judge him. Koda only knew danger. And Koda stopped it. News reporters flooded the airport within hours. "Officer Ward, can you tell us how your dog knew? Is it true he stopped the attacker alone? What does this make you feel?" Daniel placed a steady hand on Koda's back. "He felt what we didn't," Daniel said. "He trusted his instincts. He trusted his training. And he trusted me." Koda became a national hero overnight. Videos of him tackling the bomber went viral. Children sent drawings. Toy companies asked permission to make plush versions of him. Newspapers called him the dog that saved Terminal 7, the Malinois guardian, America's four-legged hero. But fame never mattered to Koda. What mattered was Daniel. What mattered was protecting people. What mattered was doing the one thing dogs do better than anyone else: stand between danger and the innocent. Months later, when the chaos faded and life returned to normal, Daniel took Koda to the open training field behind the security facility. Birds chirped, grass swayed, planes roared in the distance. Koda chased a ball, rolled in dirt, barked at squirrels, just a dog being a dog. Daniel sat on the grass, watching him with a quiet smile. "You saved hundreds that day," he said softly, "and you'd do it again without hesitation." Koda trotted back, dropped the ball in Daniel's lap, and nudged him with his nose. "Yeah," Daniel chuckled tearfully. "I know. You're not done yet." The sun dipped low, painting the sky orange and gold. The wind brushed softly across the field, carrying the echoes of that day. Daniel placed a medal, Koda's medal, gently around the dog's neck. "Not just for saving lives," he whispered, "but for reminding us there's still goodness in this world. Because heroes don't always wear armor. They don't always carry weapons. They don't always speak human languages. Some walk on four legs. Some trust their hearts more than their fears. Some run toward danger when everyone else runs away. Koda didn't just stop a suicide bomber. He saved families. He protected strangers. He gave children a future. He restored faith in humanity. He proved that courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it barks. And sometimes that bark is the only thing standing between life and devastation. To Daniel, Koda wasn't just a partner. He was hope. He was light. He was proof that in a world filled with darkness, heroes still exist.
Some just happen to have fur.